Hi there, this is Lance Travis and welcome to Pouring Together. I just wanted to do a quick little video to show how I varnish a piece. This is a technique that was shown to me by Heather Mader, and she has a really good video if you check out her website or just type in Heather Mader High Gloss Varnish. That usually pulls up her Liquitex High Gloss Varnish video. And this is the Liquitex High Gloss Varnish. I get it in the 32 ounce because I find I go through a lot of it. It's the best high gloss varnish to give you kind of like a resin-like, as though your piece were under resin, to really deepen it with that high gloss finish. At any rate, so to show you what that finish looks like, I have some pieces that have been coated with, I think, around 3 coats of this varnish, and when you do use it, you have to wait 3 hours in between coats. But this is a piece where you can kind of see that it's very shiny, and it brings out the metallics. Really gives it a nice kind of deepens all the colors, really gives it a nice shiny finish. And then we have another one that I believe was also about the same amount, maybe 3 coats. And you can kind of see, it's just really nice if that's the effect or the look that you want to go for with your pour painting. I also use things like archival matte sprays for larger pieces sometimes, or satin gloss spray looks really nice on certain types of pours. But at any rate, I guess I'm going to get into showing you how I do it. Like I said, I learned this technique from Heather Mader, and I find though when I go as large as this canvas, this is maybe, I don't know, 18 by 24. When I go a little larger, Heather likes to go like, once you put the gloss down, she likes to go back and forth one direction, and you have to do this very smooth with a sponge brush. And then while it is still wet, you can use a torch. I use these torches because my other big torch is broken, but I find these do really well in a pinch. They're even just up the road at the Curb Market from us. I use these to get bubbles out once you've gone one direction or the other, but she goes one direction, and then while it's still wet, goes another direction to like crosshatch straight across, making sure it's even and straight. I find at this stage, when I have a painting that's larger, while it's wet, because you've got about 4 minutes of working time once it's down, and I find that usually when it's fairly big, even with something this large, I can get through it in one direction and then need to pop the bubbles and then just let it be. Because if I work it this way, I start to get more trails. And so right now 1 coat has been done, so I'm gonna start putting it down, and you have to kind of liberally put down a good amount of the gloss varnish and really make sure that it is pretty well covered. There we go. Well, like I said, you have to keep in mind that like once you've got this down, you're really kind of under the clock, so it's not like you can kind of leave this. Once you start it, you've got to finish it and get the strokes across. And when you're using these 4-inch or 3.5-inch, I can't remember if it's 3.5-inch or 4-inch sponge brushes, you have to really watch. Like, I'm gonna smooth some of this around really quick, but you can't do this too long either, so that there's a coating of it there. But then I'm gonna start dragging it in the direction. And I think this time I'm going to go the opposite direction of the lengthwise that I went the first time. Just because that's what you're supposed to have a little bit of a cross-hatching, you know, vertical and horizontal. So I'm going to do this. You have to be very gentle, lay it down smooth, and it's a light touch on the drag. Very light touch, and keep it moving. Keep it moving so that you don't develop kind of those running trails or those lines through it that you do not want to be there. You want a smooth glass-like finish. And so when I'm done doing this, I'm going to take that torch and try to torch out these bubbles. And you want to work quickly, but not too quickly, and with a very light touch. So you kind of have to play with it and get used to it. Sometimes it's a little bit of trial and error, so if you're starting out with smaller pieces, I think it's much easier and much more forgiving. And typically when I do this type of varnishing, I will do at least 3 coats. Sometimes you might be able to get away with 2 coats. But I feel like it gets more resin-like if you were to go to, like, say 3 or maybe even 4. But just remembering that you have to wait the 3 hours between the next coat. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now we're gonna torch the bubbles because we got a lot of bubbles going on. And you gotta work fast to get these bubbles and really look into your light. But also be sure not to get the torch too close to the surface. You want enough to create the bubbles popping, but if you get too close down on it, it will cause it to burn, and then you get these like plasticky looking pitted nasty areas that you do not want. Ooh, it's gonna give me carpal tunnel. So many bubbles to pop. You want to look around your edges too, because really the bubbles tend to be more heavy towards the edges where you've been pulling the foam brush off. And just like that one is. Have another trusty one here, just in case. Like I said, you want to work fast because around that 4-minute time, it can be setting up, so you really want to try to get them all out before then. For sure, get all of your brush strokes done. But this is why on this larger type pieces, I don't try to go back across, because I feel like it sometimes has started to set up, and then I get the tracks and trails in the gloss finish, and you don't. That's what we're trying to avoid. I think we've almost got most of what is going to pop. Really look at it, and look at it kind of to the side of the canvas in the light, so you can pick up where you see the bubbles. Look. But I tend to get my, bumping my other light. I tend to get my my Liquitex High Gloss varnish I get through Amazon in this bigger 32-ounce size. And a lot of times I'll buy my foam brushes there as well. You can rinse these out though and reuse these, which is good. Like I said, these little torches that I have are from a company called Eagle Torch, and I really like them. Like I said, I have a bigger kind of bigger, you know, regular butane torch, but it's supposed to be better, and it kind of petered out on me, so I have to get another one now. So at any rate, these do, if you don't want to spend the money on something, you know, fancier, they definitely work. And yeah, that's how I do it. So this should create a really nice finish that has that resin-like quality to it. And once this dries, I'll probably put a third coat on there, and then it will be kind of done. But at any rate, I hope this is helpful. Like I said, my friend Heather Mader, she has a great video. If you search, you know, for her channel, she's a fluid artist. She has a wealth of educational videos on different styles of pour painting, different types of fluid art. She's a great mentor and wealth of knowledge for many artists, myself included. Please check her out at Heather Mader Art. And thank you for watching Pouring Together. And please like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more videos.